Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. Something a bit different today. You know, I'm a big Star Wars fan, as anyone that knows me will know. And so when the films were announced to be getting individual 4K releases here in the UK, I jumped at the chance, and the fact that they were released with these exclusive matching slipcovers, I was very excited. Now, for a while, it looked like we weren't getting these in the UK. They released them in America. I think they released them in Australia as well and some other countries, but it didn't look like we were getting individual releases at all in the UK. We got the big Skywalker saga box set, which included the 9 episodic films. It didn't include Rogue One or Solo, just the 9 episodic films. So for a while I was like, yeah, okay, I'll wait for Black Friday. I will pick that up for a reasonable price, get them all on 4K in one big box set. Then at the end of August, they stealth dropped these. No announcement, no fanfare, just these cool slipcovers containing everything that you get in that box set, plus Rogue One and Solo. So I thought, excellent, I'll grab these. These were all in the 2 for 30 deal everywhere that was selling them. So it actually works out slightly cheaper than the big Skywalker saga box set, including Rogue One and Solo. And considering that the box set doesn't include that, it was a no-brainer to me. Save some money, and I'm very happy with them. So I thought I'd take a deep dive into every single one, take a closer look at the artwork, and discuss some of the contents. I'm a big fan of Nathan P. Butler's channel, who does the Star Wars home video library, and I understand that he is taking a look at these as well. But I thought I'd offer my little spin on them, point out some little oddities with the releases. So without further ado, let's get started with The Phantom Menace. Alrighty, so Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace on 4K Blu-ray. So as you can see, and I'm sure most of you will be aware, that these slipcovers all have matching artwork, and it's the same artwork that was used for the individual releases over in America. And I like it for the most part. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it works really well for these slipcovers, and for what they are, it works really nicely. So we've got stickers on each one saying new collectible sleeves, collect them all, blah 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 blah. And the main artwork is really cool. You can see here that there's a glossiness on the slipcover itself, but the actual artwork here is entirely matte finish, which is a really nice touch. It adds a nice little bit of depth to the slip, and you've got some spot gloss on the title there as well. So that's cool. The spines are all very uniform. And I like that each one of these is colour coded. So this one they've gone for sort of like a blue colour for the Phantom Menace, which is pretty cool. And on the back you've got your standard sort of Disney 4K layout. The ultimate movie watching experience, and they each have sort of an image here and a sort of tagline. So in this case, this one is "See the first fateful steps in the journey of Anakin Skywalker." Something that I don't like about these slips is the fact that, I don't know if you can see the font there for the blurb of the film, is just that standard font that you get in like Microsoft PowerPoint and Microsoft Word and stuff. I don't know, once you notice it, it looks a bit cheap, but that's minor. So you just got your tech specs here. And worth noting, you can get these slipcovers on DVD and Blu-ray as well. I'm not entirely sure what the DVDs are like, but I know that the Blu-rays are the remastered discs. They aren't a re-release of the old Fox discs. They are the same discs that you would get in the Skywalker Saga Blu-ray box set. So they have been reauthored. The versions of the films that are on these discs are different. They have a bit of different colour grading, and the aspect ratio is slightly different, and that goes for all of these films apart from the sequel trilogy and the anthology films. So the first 6 have all been remastered in 4K, so it's the same deal underneath with the standard keep case. So if we open them up, they've all got this little leaflet in, so if we get this out, so it just advertises the rest of the range. Collect them all. Yeah, nothing on the back. Would have been nice if Disney put out a press release for these releases so that we knew that they were coming. Instead they kind of stealthily dropped them, but it's whatever. So yeah, as is pretty clear by now, oh, you can see me, hello. As is pretty clear by now, The artwork and the discs that are in here are exactly the same as in the Skywalker Saga box set, and they are in line and in uniform with what the sequel trilogy discs are like. So you've got your 4K movie here, you've got your Blu-ray movie, and you've got the bonus disc, which includes a black and white behind the scenes shot from the making of the film, which is pretty cool, and I like that design choice. I've always liked it since they started doing it on the Force Awakens Blu-ray back in 2015. So it's cool to see the other 6 films sort of get uniform disc artwork. And as I say, all of this is the same that would appear in the Skywalker Saga box set. If you did choose just to get the Blu-ray version of the individual releases, you would just get this. So you'd get the disc and the movie. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that it's nice to get all the uniform discs for the entire saga, and yeah, I'm a fan. And these slipcases really match well on the shelf, save for one, which we will get to. But yeah, Phantom Menace. And then jumping straight into Attack of the Clones. This one's probably my least favourite artwork of the range. I'm not too keen on the yellow here. It looks okay, but yeah. So again, new collectible sleeves. There's the spine, matches perfectly with Phantom Menace. And again, watch the seeds of Anakin Skywalker's transformation take root. So yeah. As with the other one, just get your standard keep case with the information duplicated on the back. Should mention these have credits on the back here. So what I like is they've actually replicated the original credit design for the posters. So the prequels had this kind of font on the posters, this sort of thin, small font, and they've replicated that here for the credits. And I'll show you what the original and sequel trilogy ones look like. So again, there's your leaflet. You've got your 4K disc, you've got your Blu-ray disc, and you've got your behind-the-scenes bonus disc. And an interesting thing worth noting about with these is that this is probably, I want to say, the most comprehensive collection of bonus features we've got so far for Star Wars, but still everything isn't included. These sets don't include everything, but the prequels do include the big feature-length, like 2-hour-long documentaries about the making of the films, ported from the special edition DVDs. I was always frustrated that they didn't include those on the 2011 Blu-ray discs. But thankfully on the 2019 Blu-ray discs and the 4K, they have included the big documentaries, which are really good. They've kind of messed around with the aspect ratio of them, and they aren't brilliantly presented. They're really looking worse for wear now. So if you want kind of the best presentation of them, keep hold of your special edition DVDs, which I have. But yeah, it's good they're here for sort of a completionist's sake. So yeah, I really like this artwork. Might be my favourite one. Really cool. Their lightsabers are red, which is a bit odd, but it still works well. So this is the spine that doesn't match with the rest. For some reason, I'm not sure why, there's no Irish logo on the anywhere on the pack. So what I've done is I've taken a sticker of, I guess this might have been off a steelbook, and I've kind of sloppily just put it on there just to match. Up close, it looks like shit, but on the shelf, from a distance, you really can't tell, and it's just nice to sort of match it a bit more. So yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Discover the true power of the dark side. And yeah, the prequels on 4K, the first two don't look great. They're all upscales. The first two, they look okay, but they don't look too much better than the 2011 Blu-rays. It's mainly the colour grading and the aspect ratio that's slightly better, but there's really no difference between them, really. Revenge of the Sith looks fantastic on 4K. It's still an upscale, but I mean, Revenge of the Sith has always looked good. I guess Lucas might have used high quality cameras for this one, because it does look great on 4K. The HDR is fantastic. So again, 4K disc, Blu-ray disc, behind the scenes shot. Interesting and kind of weird choice for the Blu-ray artwork on this. It's just Anakin and Obi-Wan talking. It's a cool shot, but I feel like, I don't know, some of the artwork on this is a bit puzzling. I feel like for the Blu-ray you could have used them dueling on Mustafar or something, and for the 4K you could have used Yoda and Palpatine dueling. I don't know. It's a minor thing, but yeah. And again, there's the credits there. And then on to the original trilogy, which have certainly received the most amount of overhaul. in terms of changes for the 4K. The entire look of the film is drastically different and a lot better than the 2004 DVDs and the 2011 Blu-rays. That master that they were using for those two releases, that horrible sort of 2K master, was kind of botched. The colours were really oversaturated. The magenta tones were really strong in the image, and it was just a bit of a mess. They've actually scanned the original negative and recreated all of the special edition CGI shots for 2020, 2019, isn't it? So they've recreated those, and the film looks better than it ever has. Obviously it's not the original theatrical cut, which is a damn shame, but the colour grading looks so much more natural. The film looks better than it ever has before. It looks fantastic on 4K. The Blu-ray, the remastered Blu-ray, looks really good too. It looks a lot better than the old 2011 one. So yeah, even if you don't have 4K, I definitely recommend picking up the remastered Blu-rays of at least the original trilogy, because they do look so much better than the 2011 Blu-rays. So yeah, A New Hope, gone for a purple theme with this one. And on the spine as well. Interestingly that they've not... it kind of suggests to me that these have been sitting on some shelf for ages, because these are the old BBFC logos that recently they replaced. I'm not complaining, because the old ones are a lot better, but it's just interesting to me that these came out in August of 2020, and yet they're still using the logos that have that got replaced back in March. So yeah, Luke Skywalker begins a journey that will change the galaxy. Really cool shot there. And yeah, standard as we've come to expect by this point. So yeah, the credits there have kind of recreated the original poster credits, albeit very minimalist, but that's how they appeared on the original poster for the film. And yeah, see, this is sort of appropriate artwork, I think. So Vader and Ben dueling for the 4K disc. Leia putting the message in R2-D2 for the Blu-ray disc. I don't know, could have maybe include a shot of an X-Wing or something, and a really cool black and white behind the scenes photo of the making of Star Wars back in 1977. As for the bonus features on this, there's some cool... The commentaries are all ported over for all of these films. There's some cool... I don't think the vintage documentaries are on there. The Anatomy of a Dewback, which is from the late 90s, about the special edition, is on there. There's some 2015 content in there. Deleted scenes are all ported over. Yeah, there's these. I'm fairly happy with the bonus features on these. As I say, it's not everything, but it is quite comprehensive. So I am happy about the level of bonus features on this. And Empire Strikes Back, again, one of my favourites of the artwork. I really like the sort of light blue tinge to this. And yeah, I think that artwork looks really reminiscent of the original posters. So again, the 4K master on this, even on the standard Blu-ray, which has been remastered, looks so much better. Hoth now no longer looks blue. Dagobah no longer has this weird blue tinge to it that is on the DVD and the Blu-ray, and the 2011 Blu-ray. It's now looks like it should. It looks natural, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, there's Empire Strikes Back. And Discover the Conflict Between Good and Evil, kind of a generic one there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these releases of the original trilogy. Obviously they debuted on Disney Plus late last year, and of course they're not the theatrical cuts. Of course they have even more changes made to them compared to even the 2011 cuts. Of course for A New Hope we got the McClanky thing, and this they've redone the power generator explosion. It looks a lot cleaner now. Would be nice if they included the theatrical cuts, but I think there's the credits there. I always said if they didn't do it when they hit 4K, I doubt it'd ever happen. And yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen now. I think these 4Ks will probably be the last time we ever see Star Wars released on physical media. So yeah, grab these while you can. So yeah, really cool artwork for the 4K, really cool artwork for the Blu-ray, and really cool artwork for the bonus. This is probably the best so far in terms of picking like appropriate artwork for the discs. It kind of, yeah, it's not some random shot of Luke Skywalker yawning or something. So yeah, there's Empire. And Return of the Jedi, another really cool bit of artwork. Of course, you pick Return of the Jedi, you've got to do the green motif. That's pretty much the colour everyone thinks of when they go to Return of the Jedi, or at least I do. Return of the Jedi. Experience the Triumph of the Force, another kind of generic one. But yeah. So yeah, standard underneath, standard case. And there's the credits. You all know what to expect by this point. See, this baffles me. So the artwork for the 4K is Han tied up, about to be burnt alive by the Ewoks. And the artwork for the Blu-ray is R2 and 3PO walking towards Jabba's palace. That I can understand. The behind the scenes thing, yeah, it looks cool. I can't understand why for the climactic chapter of the original trilogy they've picked this to sum up the 4K disc. Why not include Vader and Luke dueling, or the iconic shot of their lightsabers in front of the Emperor's face or something? I don't get it. It's baffling to me. But yeah, Return of the Jedi looks good on 4K as well. Especially because the 2011 Blu-ray, and I assume it affected the DVD as well, an entire film reel of this film was scanned out of focus. And if you watch the 2011 Blu-ray, I believe it's from... It's around about when they're landing on Endor. The entire film is out of focus, and it's always bothered me. It looks blurry, and if you look at some comparison photos between that scene on the 2011 Blu-ray and this Blu-ray here and the 4K disc, it's like a revelation. It just looks so much better, and it kind of highlights how cheap and kind of rushed the 2011 Blu-rays were. Sequel trilogy now with The Force Awakens. Again, probably one of my least favourite bits of art. Looks cool, but I don't think the yellow works too well on these. I think that's kind of the main takeaway. But yeah, Force Awakens, and this is A New Threat to the Galaxy Rises, sorry. Yep, standard. And the credits there. Which is how they appeared on the theatrical poster, and this ports over all of the special features from the original release, which I have, the collector's edition re-release, which I also have, and now this. I believe everything is ported over. In fact, yes, because it does say it's got the audio commentary from J.J. Abrams, which wasn't on the original release. So yeah, this ports everything over there. 4K disc, BB-8 on there, Blu-ray disc with the X-Wings, and yeah, these two discs, minus the logo, which has been changed, these two discs are exactly the same as the original release from 2015, yeah. The Last Jedi now, one of my very favourite films in the saga, and the artwork's pretty cool there too. And actually, let me grab my original release, because I do have the original 4K release of this, so I think it'd be pretty cool to compare. So here is the original 4K release back in 2017. As you can see, they are kind of similar, and yeah, I believe. In fact, no. There's some interesting things with this. So the original release has Dolby Vision HDR on it. This one just has HDR10. So this one's being reauthored to remove Dolby Vision to match with the rest of the saga. Obviously Dolby Vision will look better on the original release, but it is what it is. It's pretty much the same transfer apart from that. But what's really interesting is this one doesn't have the score-only version of the film. This one does. So the Blu-ray disc that's in here, despite having the same menus as the Blu-ray disc in here, has been reauthored, and there's a new option to watch the film with just the music, which is really cool. And so yeah, this one is definitely slightly different from the original release. If we take this out and compare the discs, so you can see on here the 4K disc has the original Star Wars logo, and then a sort of blue one for the bonus with Rian Johnson and 3PO. And this one, it's the same disc artwork, but with the new logo replaced there to match the rest, and the photo of Rian Johnson and 3PO is now in black and white. So yeah, interesting. Some interesting little oddities with the Last Jedi release, and yeah, worth pointing out. And then The Rise of Skywalker, which again looks pretty cool with the blue. Experience the riveting conclusion of the Skywalker saga. But what's interesting about this is because the 4K of this, the regular version, only came out a few months before these slipcovers, they didn't bother reauthoring any of the discs. They didn't bother changing up anything. It's just a slipcover placed on top of the original release. So yeah, if you've got the original release, you're not getting anything new here apart from the slipcover. So yeah. 4K disc, Blu-ray disc, bonus disc with JJ looking very, very happy there. That's a really wholesome picture. Look at that. Yeah, I'm always struck by how much fun the actors seem to be having on the set of the sequel films from like the behind the scenes and stuff. So there we go, that's the Skywalker saga slipcovers. Now, the main event of this one, of this batch of releases, was the fact that Rogue One was being made available in the UK on 4K for the first time ever. Regardless of whether or not it was in these slipcovers or not, this was the very first time that Rogue One had been released on 4K in the UK, which is pretty cool. So, yep. And, what's it say? Discover the events that launch A New Hope. Indeedy do. And again, similar thing. They've not repurposed any artwork here because this is the 4K debut. So Rogue One 4K disc, and these two are exactly the same discs as was in the original release. I have the 3D release of this from when it first came out, and these discs are exactly the same. They've not been reauthored. The artwork on them hasn't changed. They are exactly the same carbon copy. It's just the 4K disc that is new and different. So yes, interesting, very interesting. And then the last one, wrapping this whole thing up, Solo, a Star Wars story. Again, with really cool artwork. Solo really benefits from 4K. It's such a dark film, and the Blu-ray is... It looks good, but the greys look... the blacks look kind of grey on it. And the 4K here with the HDR, as it does add a lot of depth to the image. Yeah, Solo. And... what's it say? Chart the course for adventure. Yeah. So this is another one similar to Rise of Skywalker because it was already out in 4K a couple of years ago, and they've really not had to reauthor anything. There's been no new content since, like with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. This is again another repackage of the original release, but with the new slipcover placed over it. And I understand that if you order these from HMV, Solo and Rise of Skywalker, that is, HMV are prone to sending the original release just like this without the slipcover, or the original release with the original slipcover, so be careful. I picked these ones up physically in store, I think. Did I? Maybe. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I picked those two up in stores physically. So I didn't have to worry about that. I could check that everything was alright with them. But yeah, again, repackaged Solo 4K disc. These two are exactly the same as before, and I assume I don't have the original 4K release. I've got the original Blu-ray, so I know that those two discs are the same, but this I believe is exactly the same as well. So that is everything. I hope my monotonous narration hasn't been too off-putting in this video. I've essentially just been going through each slipcase and going, here's a slipcase. But yeah, I recommend these a lot. I'm not sure if the 2 for 30 deal is still going on, but if you can find a place that still does that deal, this is a much cheaper alternative than picking up the Skywalker Saga box set. The only thing you'd be missing out on would be the big sort of book style packaging. Let's get that original release of The Last Jedi out of here. Come on, you don't belong with this collection. There we go. Now it all matches up. So yeah, these look great on the shelf. I definitely recommend them. It's just a great way of getting all the discs that are in that box set in a much cheaper way, and they all look great on the shelf lined up. It's nice to have individual artwork for each of them, I think. The bonus features are great, and yeah, and it's, as I said, at least for the original trilogy, it's worth picking up. Even if you don't have 4K, it's worth picking up the the Blu-ray equivalent of these, because the remastered Blu-rays do look so much better. The prequels, there's barely a difference, and the sequels, there won't be a difference for the Blu-rays because they're just exactly the same, apart from the score-only version of The Last Jedi. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you're thinking of picking these up, and yeah, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you in my next one. Take care now.